this. I'll go up and I'll pinch it again. Alright, let's check. I don't think ours is graphed. Escape. Tab. Go up. Nope, you got it 7. Let me see. Sorry. Oh, I see it. It's just zoomed in. There we go. Sorry. I was thinking that was the x-axis, but that's not. There you go. Okay. So, what do you guys notice about this line?
It's 7.
It's 7. So what do you think 7 means?
It means it's only 7.
Okay, well, what do you mean by that? It's only 7.
Well, it's like an equal thing.
Okay. Well, what about the slope? What's my slope?
No.
Yes. She said 0. So remember how we talked about how our y equals mx plus b, our slope is always next to our x. Do you have an x in your equation?
No.
No, you don't. So technically, our slope is 0. Also, if you have this little guy right here, don't judge him. He's walking on the line. Is he going at an incline at all? Is his sidewalk inclining and going up a hill at all?
No.
No. Is it going down a hill?
No.
No, he's just walking straight. So his slope is 0, right? The steepness of his walkway is 0. Now, this other number, this guy, what does that represent? If you're having trouble in your brain thinking about what that represents, then let's pull out our calculator tool. Press menu 5-1. So again, go menu 5-1. What do you guys notice about that point right there?
It's
What is this axis right here called?
It's y.
It's the y.
Y-intercept.
Yes, it is the y-intercept. It is the y-intercept. So here's our y-intercept. Cool, so we can put that on our paper. Our slope is 0, and our y-intercept is 0, 7. Our slope is 0, and our y-intercept is 0, 7. Now, let me ask you this. Does this have an x-intercept?
No, because it's 0.
Because what's 0?
The x. Oh, wait, no.
I see where you're going with that. I gotta sneeze, sorry. What's 0?
Slope.
The slope. So because our slope is 0, we're not slanted at all, so it's never going to touch our x-axis. Now, a couple of cool things that you have with your calculator, again, other than using the menu 5-1, which we got this guy right here, we go left or right, it'll show you your 0, and this guy right here, y-intercept. You still have all these graphs up here. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to click Control and then the up arrow. Control up. What happened when you hit Control up?
Show secondary graph.
Every graph that you have put in your calculator is going to pop up on your screen. Now, you can take your cursor and you can come over and pick whichever graph you want. Okay? So this is one way to go back between your graphs, because sometimes, sorry, people keep calling me. Sometimes you graph something and you want to go back to it. Now, here's the other thing you can do. Okay, let's say I'm here on graph 2. You can take your cursor, you can go up to the top, and you can click on this guy right here. Or you can take your cursor and click on the first page. The other way that you can decide, okay, I want to go between page and page, is click Control right arrow to go to the right, Control right arrow to go to the right, and then Control left arrow to go backwards. Okay. So these are some of the different ways that you can use your calculator to go between page and page. Okay, now I'm going to show you guys a couple of equations that I want you guys to look at, okay? I want you to graph these in your calculator. So do me a favor, click Control Dock, add a graph page, which is our 2, and get ready to type in this first function. Control Dock, Add that page. And remember, that 4 just means that's my 4th graph.
What does F2?
Okay, so that's your 2nd graph.
Oh.
Add what?
Add a graph page. Now, when you add that graph page, I want you to go ahead and I want you to graph this function right here. Y equals -4 divided by 5x minus 6. So we're going to graph that on that thing. Do you need to do the y equals?
No.
No, please don't do the y equals. Now, if you're wondering to yourself, well, self, how do you do that? Well, let me show you. I'm going to start by taking this negative sign right here, which is by the equals, or by the enter. Negative. I'm going to click on 4, and then I'm going to click on control divide. When you click on that control divide, it's going to bring up the fraction template. Saved your life, right? We click 5. You're going to scroll over, and you're going to put your x. Again, your x is at the bottom of your page, or bottom of your calculator.
Wait, didn't I put it like that?
And then we're going to put -6. Oh, sorry. -4. Control divide. 5.
Are we still on this?
Well, we're still kind of on it. I'm just doing a different problem.
Oh.
Now, the big thing here is that people make the most mistake is they do this. That's a -6, right? Here's the problem. You can't put -6. Now, if you, hold on, don't change it just yet, because what happens if I make that mistake? If I do that, I'll show you what you do. This is a negative. We need to make sure it's minus. So we say minus in the middle. Negatives are all by themselves. So this is -6 because the minus is in the middle. So what would happen if I did this? Well, I'll graph the original. Here's what it looks like. I'm going to hit tab so you can see what it looks like if I do it wrong. Now, look at how I wrote this one. Is that still going to be the same? Well, I can still do 4 and then the slash and the 5. That's still going to be the same, but this time I put a negative. And you see how it graphs it incorrectly?
Wait, where'd it go?
It's the green one.
Oh.
Now look at what it does. If I put a negative right here, it's going to multiply. It's going to multiply. So here's how you fix it. Let's say I make that mistake. Here's how you fix it. Hit the button that says tab and go up.
I just don't think anybody.
There we go, I got it now.
Now when you hit tab and you go up, it's going to bring up that old function. So hit tab. Just hit tab.
Oh, tab.
Tab. Perfect. Go up. Okay, so you just have 7 in there. So go ahead, click enter. Enter. Perfect. Just do a new one. So control doc.
It won't come up.
2. Perfect. And then try typing that in with the minus.
My green line won't come up.
No, you don't want the green line to come up. The green line was incorrect.
Oh.
Alright, so I have this guy. I know this is incorrect, so I'm going to go back and I'm going to backspace those guys right there. So coming on over here, I'm going to delete those and I'm going to put a minus. So anytime you make a mistake on your graph, you hit tab, go up, and then you can retype it. Otherwise, you can just click a new graph and all that good stuff. Okay? Alright, you can also take this guy and you can move your graph around if you need to see something. You can take these equations and you can move them around if you can't see something with your cursor. Now, again, what's our favorite button? Menu. 5, 1. Alright, it's going to take that very first. There's our y-intercept.
0 dash -6.
Perfect, exactly.
And then,
Okay, hold on. And then we take this guy over here. Now raise your hand if you really like scrolling like that, getting all the way over to -7.5. So did you grab it?
Yeah.
-7.5, comma 0.
Perfect, yes. Okay, did you graph this one? -4 x minus 6. Okay, now there's another cool feature about the graph trace tool, and it allows you to put in any x value. Okay, so here's what I want you to do. I want you to type in -6 and click enter.
How do you type in now?
Okay, you're still doing the same problem, so delete that. Type in -4/5. Control divide.
What? Cool.
5. Go over. X.
It's
Perfect. Minus 6.
it's not undefined. It's
Enter. Perfect. Menu. 5, 1. Okay, now type in, okay, well, it's already there, -6. Okay, did it shoot you out right here? When you did that? When you typed in -6, did it bring you over here? Okay, type in negative, or sorry, no, it shouldn't have done that. -6, it should have brought you over here, right? It was kind of like here, yeah? Okay, type in -7.5. So anytime you're using the graph trace tool, you can plug in any x value, and then you click enter, and it'll take you to it. So if I plugged in -6, it would take me here.
wait, negative what?
-7.5. If I plug in -7.5, it takes me there. So
Whoa.
your graph trace tool, as long as you have your x value, you'll be able to find that. Okay,
And
you'll be able
then
to find that.
menu.
Questions, concerns about that? No? Okay. How do you find an x-intercept? What do we need to look for?
Menu.
Menu 5-1, but if we menu 5-1, what are we looking for?
Slope. No.
What does a y-intercept mean? Think about football. What happens when I throw an interception? What happens?
They intersect.
Yeah, so here's the path of the ball. What do?
They intersect.
They intercept it. They cross the line, right? So if our function is going like this, then a y-intercept means that my line is doing what? Intercepting the y-axis. Crossing the y-axis. Very good. What about our rocks? What does that mean?
It means X.
Perfect, yes. Very good. Crossing the x-axis.
So
Yes?
Is this right?
Okay, go ahead. Take your notebooks. I'm going to go ahead and